Hey everyone, uh, welcome back. It has been a long time, and also Katali, hello. Great to see you here on the stream. Let's see. Yes, it's been a long time. I had stopped doing my regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday stream in the morning because my wife got a job, and that sort of changed the dynamics of how we were getting to work. So I'm now heading to work earlier, and we're carpooling together, and I think I'm gonna be able to do weekend streams now. We're gonna figure that out. Of course, I could have done it earlier, but I took a vacation, went to California, saw some friends and family there, went to Hawaii, hung out there for a while, decided not to do any streams for some reason, maybe because it was Hawaii. Um, and then sort of this is the first week that I've been back. So last weekend, I was still recovering from all the jet lag, and also I kind of accidentally screwed up my internet. But now this weekend we can start moving on it. Yesterday I couldn't stream because I scheduled some things to do in another city, so I had to drive way far away. But I've got some afternoon tea, and I did a meetup talk, so I feel like I want to sort of go over this a little bit. Let's see if I can open this up. If I go to slides.com, profile Lambda on DigitalOcean. Yeah. So I'm not going to go through the entire presentation, but basically, this last Thursday, I talked at the Denver Node.js meetup, and well, like that's not the Node.js meetup is not too surprising on this channel because I do host that. I'm the organizer, but at this time we didn't have another speaker, and so I stepped up and I talked about building this entire Lambda functionality on DigitalOcean because I do like DigitalOcean quite a bit. I know some people who work there, and they're missing a lot of functionality that AWS has, and they're not like serving the same market. So, for example, Lambda, not something they're interested in doing. They clearly state that they're not going to implement something like this. So I figured, what would it take to create my own sort of Lambda type thing, Lambda type server? And so I built one and I showed it off. Unfortunately, the stream during that meetup talk, sort of the internet went out. So I'm deciding to just recreate it, rebuild it today. Now I only have until 5 p.m. my time, which we can see. That's going to be a little bit less than 2 hours. So we'll see how far I get. Because I built this before, it might go a little bit faster, but then again, I'm going to be talking at the same time while building it, so maybe not as well. The stack today, I'm going to use the exact same stack that I did for the Node.js meetup. So obviously we're going to be going with Node.js. I'm going to be using Express as the server. I'm going to use Mongo as a database because it's super fast and really just easy to set up. I don't have to think about schemas or migrations or anything. And I think I'm not going to use any front-end frameworks. We'll just use some back-end rendering because why not? This is going to be a simple enough of app. We don't need any of that kind of stuff. Oh no, you're kind of sick. Well, yeah, definitely don't stay up on my account. I'd rather you get healthy because feeling sick is sucky. So anyways, if you do take off, I hope that you have a good night and you're feeling better soon. Also, I guess before you head out, how have you been? Because it's been a month or so since I've seen you, Katali, or seen you on the stream. All right. In the meantime, let's get going here. So I'm up terminal. I believe that I already installed. Yeah, I have the latest version of Node installed from when I built this before, and I've already installed the Express generator. Caltel, hello, good afternoon. If it interests you at all, it'd be neat to see you do a neural network stream, something like tic-tac-toe Q-learning. Well, I have done a neural network talk. Is that correct? I did a deep learning talk. And I created a bot that plays Pong. So I don't think that's exactly the same. I'm still not completely sure of the difference between like a deep learning and a and like neural networks. I haven't gotten that far into it. Yes, that book, which the book that shall not be named on this stream anymore, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so I did that. Let's see if I could find the video for that. So it's under my YouTube. I have to go find. What was it? It was the Denver Devs Deep Learning Pong. That was the video. Is it gonna find mine? Yes, here. This one. Let's see. Enjoy your Christmas vacation with relatives. Started school again 2 weeks ago. Awesome. Well, glad that was good. Did I have labels for the Pong game to teach it? When you say labels, I'm not sure. Like, is that something in deep learning that I should know of? It was a fairly simple Pong game. And started recently to think more seriously in going to USA for college. Well, I mean, if you do come here, it'd be great. I don't know if I have any like specific recommendations for colleges here, or like if they're better than anywhere else in the world. So I don't know. I certainly didn't go to college for computer science, so I can't help you with that. Anyways, regardless, I hope the choice you make is a good one. I don't think there's a really bad choice with that. It's more about mindset, going through life, learning. What did I take? I dropped out of computer science and then went into anthropology, specifically cultural anthropology. And then I did a minor in computer information technology. And I think the minor really helped me. I then, after graduation, got my CCNA, so Cisco certification, and that led to my internship with NASA. So I don't really think there's a specific path that you have to take. I know plenty of people that even graduate that have amazing careers. So, all right, yeah, I don't really have anything like showing what it was. So we'll probably just go in and build this out. If you had some paddle on ball state, you'd label moving up as an action to be taken if it means it'll hit the ball. You just oh yeah, okay. So I don't think I used labels. What I think was I had a multiple input single output state, and the input was like I had an array of inputs. It was something like where the ball was, where the player's paddle was, the direction the ball was going, the speed. I don't even know. I don't think I had the speed the ball was going, and where the ball was going to cross the finish line or cross the line. And then the output was just a number. If it was less than 1, it means go up. If it's more than 1, it means go down. And if it's 0, it means stand still. And that's all I did. So it was really, really simple. But it played pretty well. Not necessarily as well as I could play, but it did okay against a sort of like a classic computer, which just always matched where the ball was. And I didn't program in the classic computer to have any mistakes. So That's why it like would lose more often than win. Okay, so we have our terminal. Let's go ahead and begin by going into code. I just have mine, so let's create Brooks builds. All right, so I'm gonna say express. See what we can do here. I want to use handlebars as the backend, as sort of like a backend rendering engine. Let's go ahead and add the get ignore, and I don't need anything else. Then it's gonna be the name of this. So I'm gonna call this Lambda. Should I call it like simple Lambda? Maybe just like Lambda server. And that's it. npm install. Light theme. Well, I don't have it as quite as like, it's not pure white. But it isn't dark. Well, you're sick, of course. I have like, I don't know. I've been going back and forth on like light and dark themes. I've noticed that I get ironically some eye strain on most of the common dark themes, as well as pure white themes. So I'm not really sure anymore. I need to find some new themes. Maybe like in between, where it's like, I don't want gray, but like not dark, but like dusk. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so we've installed everything. Let's go ahead and npx nodemon. In fact, I can install that locally. So npm install dev version, and we're going to bring in nodemon. Okay, and then we're going to do npx nodemon. The reason I install that is that way npx will just use the local version of nodemon. We've got this working, and a cool thing here is I can now Firefox dev, get myself the Firefox developer version going. So localhost 3000, and here's my Express server. You prefer softer dark themes, Dracula, for example, but your favorite is hot dog stand. That's such a weird name for some kind of like code theme. I might have to check it out. Hot dog stand. Okay, so we have our basic Express server. Let's go ahead and also open up code. Just try it. You won't regret it. Okay, let's try it. We'll give it a shot. I do have dark theme, like the standard dark theme on code running. I'm not a monster yet. So what is this? Hot dog stand. Burn out your eyeballs in 15 seconds. This is not sounding really. Yeah, no, I'm not installing it. I'm glad I looked at it instead of just clicking install. There's what's the Sarah Drasner has one that's really good. Night Owl, that's one. I really like Night Owl because it's not like black background. It's rated 5 stars, so some people can't be wrong. Wow, there's so many of them now. I'll just do Night Owl. Okay, so Panda syntax is all good. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can trust you while you're sick. It'll burn out my eyeballs and all of yours too. Okay, so Let's see. We're gonna begin. How many of you are familiar with Express and like the generator here? Because it's actually pretty cool. It sets you up with like a lot of stuff that you want by default. There's some stuff that we don't really care about. So for example, I'm not going to have any users for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. All the path stuff, all the logging stuff, this is all fine. We don't need the users here. All right, and that should be good. Hit save, and then under routes, I can go ahead and just delete users. And like nothing will change from that because I'm not going to be having users in here. And here's where we're just like in this title, so I can change this. I don't actually know if I care about the title. So I think I'm gonna not bring that in. You only use generators for React View because of Webpack. Oh, well, yeah, those generators are pretty awesome. So this is a backend. We're using handlebars, which is super similar to like, Vue or Angular or React. So under views, here's the layout. I'm just going to change the title here to be Lambda server, save, and then the body is where, for example, this index, and so I'm just going to say Lambda server, erase that, hit save, and if we come back here, right, because I've just done very basic, like everything, I don't have live refresh on, that's cool. All right, so because I don't want to make something with absolutely no theming whatsoever, I'm thinking about just being very, very, very simple and easy and basic. Let's go ahead and bring in Bootstrap. Now, I had thought that Bootstrap, easy CSS. Wait, is that a thing? It is a thing. It's a, oh, what is CSS? That's just doing your own stuff. I don't care. Is this the equivalent of vanilla JS framework? That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna go to Bootstrap. So go to download, find the CDN. Now I don't need, you like Tailwind CSS. I might look into that later. CJ uses something like, I thought CJ uses Vuetify because he's almost always in Vue. Because like this is just like normal CSS. Frameworks, I'm not using that. Bootstrap, yeah. Whatever. Okay, so I don't need, copy the clipboard. I might take a look at what he has later. All right, so in layout, I'm just gonna throw this in here. I don't need the script. I'm actually not going to use the JavaScript side of things. I'm just going to be very bad and use just the basic scripting for, like, I don't know, forms and kind of stuff. But by having this on, loading this back up, we get the new theme here. So first step, we need some kind of way to store all of our like these Lambda functions as we're going to put in. So we need to put in like the name of the function. I'm not going to have any kind of authentication on this. I didn't have any for the meetup talk. In fact, like I turned off the DigitalOcean server that I was hosting on like that night, so that way it wouldn't get hacked. Heck, in the time that I had it on, which is between when I turned on right before the server and right after the talk, I got an email saying, "Hey, you've got an unprotected server. Someone can hack into it," from a security company. So that was cool. Luckily, nobody hacked it, but it is often no longer online. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a form here. So in our index.hbs here, we have our Lambda server, and I'm going to begin with an h2. We'll just do add maybe like a register function. And register function, and what do we need here? We just need like the name of it. In fact, let's go get, what is it? It's components, forms. We just need a basic form like this. Okay, so form, we're gonna have good old action equals, we're gonna put this on, all right, well, have a good night, Katali. Hope that you're feeling better. I'll have this up on YouTube, so if you want to watch it there. Otherwise, I'll be trying to stream next weekend as well. So have a great week. Hope that you're feeling better soon. All right, so with action, let's go ahead and we're going to post to / what do I want to call it? It's not really an API because it's just like a classic, sending back. So I'm just going to say, what is this? Lambdas. And our method is going to be a post. Div class form group, that's fine. So all of this is fine, but you are going to change. We're not going to be an email address. This is going to be the name. So function name. I don't think that I can actually use aria describe by here. I might be able to look at the reference and sort of see what I can put in. I've tried to put custom stuff in here before. I don't think it works. So I'm gonna just remove that. Small, okay, so this, oh yeah, I don't need the small, like no sub. And then the email, so type email, we're not gonna have that. This is gonna be type text. An ID name, that's fine. And let's go ahead and remove everything else. We're gonna have type submit, primary, and we're gonna be add Lambda function. All right, save. Nope, this one. All right, so we have register function and our function name. All right, well, obviously, this isn't exactly what we want here. Because I called it name and it was the same thing, you can see all the ones that I was creating when I was playing around with this for the meetup talk. So add together would be a name. Of course, none of this works because I don't have the route set up. So what else do we need? We need the function name, and we also need and I'm thinking a get URL for this. And there's a couple of reasons I'm thinking about this. First of all, I can use the same add together Lambda function that I used for the meetup talk. And the second thing is I really like the idea of, instead of having to put your just function into this web form and then save that, I like hosting on GitHub and then just telling the Lambda server, go to GitHub, find it, and bring it back down again. So let's go ahead and add in a URL next. So copy you. So for name, this is now going to be, I guess I'll call it the URI. This is going to be the GitHub URI. And I should really be very specific. It's the GitHub HTML or HTTP URI. Type, this will be URL from control. Oh, and one other thing that sort of got me in the right away is these don't have names on them. So we need to add that. So name equals name. Name equals URI. So here you go, GitHub HTTP URI. All right, next up, if I add together, we now, oh, I already have this in here. This is actually the add Lambda function that I used for the meetup talk. So when I hit add Lambda, I want it to save this information into a database and then print out all the functions that are in the database down below. So that way I can, hit them. So let's go ahead and add the route in here. So do router dot post slash I think I call this lambdas rec and res. That is one thing that I would really love if the Express generator used arrow functions and const instead of just sort of working with all versions of Node. I mean, it's been long enough since version 8. We're at version 13. But I totally understand why they want to be backwards compatible with that. Okay, so router.post lambdas. For right now, let's just, I guess, rec.json. Actually, it's res.json. So in fact, I'm going to change this. I'm going to do request and response, just to make it really clear what this is. So request dot response dot JSON. So I'm going to send the request dot body. So whatever we sent out, I'm going to send it right back to the client. So it's a mirror API. So hit this, and here we go. Name and URI, add together, and that. Perfect. Now I need to get a database going, so that way I can save this in there. So I'm actually going to use Monk and Mongo. So I don't actually have Mongo installed locally, but we can use Docker for that. So first of all, npm install Monk. I don't think I need to do anything else to get that going. But what I do need is to start up a Mongo database. So let's see, look what we got. Docker ps-a. I actually have a Mongo database going right now. It is it still up? Yeah, it is. It's up 3 days. Let's go ahead and remove that. Let's see, because I want to reset it so it's an empty database. Ooh, wait, no, I could just do the same thing and use a different, yeah, this will work. I'll be fine. So it is port 3276. Oh, I can just create it, okay. I'll just do it for the normal port, because this is a different port. So we'll do docker stop Mongo, docker remove Mongo. Okay, Docker run. I want it to be a daemon, so it runs like behind the scenes as a daemon. I want to have -p, so port 27017 mapped to 27017. And I want to run the Mongo image, and the latest is fine. And if we take a look, here it is running. Oh, I forgot to give it a name. So it's Festive Shockley. But here it is. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and connect Monk to our server. I'm going to create a new folder in here. No, not in views. Down here. New folder. I'm going to call this database. And in here, I guess I can call it connection.js. All right, const. I mean, I could. The documentation for Monk is interesting. They want you to grab things off of require Monk. They want you to like basically then go in here, but I don't think I need to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say const sort of database equals, or maybe like even connection. That might be good. Equals Monk. And then I think, yeah, you're not going to tell me. I think then I just give it localhost, no colon, because it's going to assume it's 27017, slash I guess I'll call this Twitch Lambda. Cowtel, you think you understand what I'm doing on my neural network code? Awesome. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been half a year since I wrote that. I do want to get back into those sometime, but that will be a lot of fun. But that's another stream. Okay, so now that I have the connection, then I want to now create my connections to different, like the different tables, so to say. I think it's collections or what they are. So const lambdas equals, I think it's connection.get, and then I'll just call this lambdas. Module.exports equals, again, lambdas. Okay. Now, in my routes in index.js, I can now bring this in. So const equals require database connection, and this is going to be lambdas. And now I can basically just store whatever I have in request.body. And so in a real project, it would be a really good idea to put in some kind of backend validation to make sure that when I release this, nobody can just throw in whatever they want. But I would do that in middleware, which means I could sort of write this pretending that I've already written that. It's out of scope for what I'm doing today, though. So, okay, response.json. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll go ahead and continue to do that. Or maybe not necessarily. Do I want a queries function? Like, I might want to. Middleware is your favorite where? Nice. I can create a queries folder, and then all my queries go into there. And I might like that. So let's actually do that. In database, new file, queries.js. I guess it's not going to be queries. This is going to be, I'm going to call this lambdas.js. And I'm going to have function store. So this is going to take in lambda. And we're going to return. So in here, so now that I think about it, we don't actually need this. it's going to be something else. In here, we're going to do that in here. So const lambdas equals require connection. I think that's how I spelled it. Yes. Then, so I'm going to call this maybe new lambda. So return lambdas dot insert, and then it's going to be the data that goes straight in. So I can just say new lambda. I mean, I know this is super, super simple here. I don't know if I care about the ID at this point. I probably will later. Let's not worry about that right this second. So then we're going to have a module.export. Put in store. So in here, I do have my window open, so if the dogs start barking too much, I'm going to have to go close that. But it's a super nice day today, so it'd be nice to have the airflow. All right, so where are we? We're in there, so it's really just going to be dot database lambdas. It's going to be store. So now in here, I'm going to extract this out into its own object just for safety here. So const, and I'm going to say like new lambda equals, and we're going to throw in, so we're going to have the name, and this is going to be our request dot body dot name, and we're also going to have the URI. So URI, and this is going to be request dot body dot URI. And then let's go ahead and run the store program, or the store method. So store, pass in new lambda. It returns a promise. That's one of the nice things about Monk. So dot then, whatever like our database result is going to be. So I don't know what this is going to be. So we'll do results, and I'm going to res.json or response.json the result, just so that we can see what that is. And then we're also going to have a catch. I think we therefore need a next. The next handles errors. So a catch error, and we'll pass next and pass it the error. All right. So let's run this. See what happens when we store into here. Save. All right, so we get add together. Here's a URI, and so we get the entire object back that we stored into the database. Plus, we get this underscore ID because Mongo really likes to use this underscore ID as their IDs. They're not just incremented numbers, but rather some like really clever timestamp plus some other random little stuff to make sure there's no collision when you're having like a really spread out database cluster. Okay, so done with that tea. Switch over to water. Which means we're in the database. We've got that into the database. Now what we want to do is want to display all of those. So we're going to need a get all in here. So that way when we pass in the index, we can pass all of them in. So let's go ahead and do that. Function get all. We don't need to pass anything in, and we're just going to return lambdas.find, and we just want to find all of them. Get all. Now an index will also get all. So we have this res.render, but we're going to have to put that inside of, so get all dot then. So then we're going to do all lambdas. And then we're going to pass in all the lambdas into an object. So, which I'm just going to put in as lambdas. Okay. But before we can see them, inside of our views index.hps, we need to now have another section. So I'm going to put this as an h2, all like lambda functions. And in here, I'm thinking, let's go take a look at what we can do with Bootstrap. Maybe a list group. That might be good. Do I have to use LIs? I think I do. Oh, I don't. Yeah, look at this. I could just use a list group with a div and a bunch of A's. That's pretty cool. I can even use buttons. Oh, that's fascinating. I think the LIs would be okay, but I really like these the divs. So I'm going to use this as a reference. All right, so list group, so I don't actually need any of these. I do need to know that this list group item action, I guess. That's all I need to keep. So I'll just comment you out and everything else. Comment you out. There we go. Everything else out of the pool. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our first, just our loop through here. And we have our div, so now we want to repeat everything in here. And I think I can use more divs or whatever. Maybe I do want LIs, I'm not sure. But let's try this. We'll just use a div inside. So we're going to use, oh, come on. Copy. I don't know if I need the action. There it goes. Okay, so that gives us our div here. We don't need you. We also need to each this. So we're going to do pound or hash each, and then slash each to end it. And you all can be tabbed in. So now I have my div, and I want to put in like the name of the function. So let's, each, and this is lambdas. And I'm going to do this dot name. Maybe like tab or let's see, div This maybe I can even do this in like a p tag. And then in maybe like another p tag, we'll just do the this.uri. And I don't need the ID at this point in time. I probably don't. And let's see how this works. This is the post. Cancel, go back, hit refresh. Here we go. So here's our Lambda functions, and we have add together and this. Perfect. I can even do nice things like instead of P, this can be like an H3. And an H3 because it's a title. There you go. Add together, and this is where we're gonna go and like grab that. So this is cool. I can now add a whole bunch of these. So we can add another one together. Ooh, that's a good point. I need it to redirect back to this as soon as it's done. So let's fix that. So when I do post, it is response.json. I really want to just say response.redirect to slash. Now, when I do add together 2, for example, it just redirects me. It's so fast because it's such an easy and simple backend rendered thing that you won't even see it refresh. It will look really, really, really fast for us. Okay, we need to start thinking about the route we're going to hit to actually make these run. And this is clearly not going to work because this is the URI for the get one. So I'm thinking we need to, first of all, change what we store it in for instead of just get. So when we do post here, we do name URI. So I want to change this to essentially the get URI. Maybe I should even do GitHub URI. But I essentially want to create a special URI that we hit here, and it will then run the function, which needs to be different than this. It needs to essentially start with our own what do we call it, like URL for this. So we need to have where we are as a server. And I'm thinking that we can do that through a environment variable. I could put this somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure if I like care about, well, I'm just gonna put it right here. So we're gonna say const, this is gonna be like the base, it's like the server base URI. And we're gonna say that this is process.env dot base URI. But if that's not set, which is not going to be for this, we're going to say that this is http:// this needs to be quote, http:// localhost colon, and I need the port. Do I have the port? Not in here. I think the port's in web, which is in bin www. Yeah, so here's the port, 3000. So I'm almost thinking that we need some kind of config file. Yeah, config file right in here. So let's go ahead, open up a terminal. and I'm gonna touch viable clan member. Hello, welcome back. Make it YAML heart. Or oh no, the heart didn't come through as a emoji. Config YAML. I don't need to do YAML for this. JSON. That's what we're gonna do. Minimal number of bringing in libraries. How about that? Okay, so we're gonna do touch config.j. I can actually just do this straight as JSON. All right, so here we're gonna have port. Right now we're gonna have this as 3000. Are those eyes or is that fire coming out of the handbasket? Okay, so we have the port and we have, I guess, like the base URL. Ooh, yeah, okay. I'll have the base URL. I should use URI to be more succinct. Yeah. Oh, I don't have very many emoji hooked up on this. So I don't think that would be one that I would want to like use my one available one to add in. I'll probably do something with Rust. Okay, so base URI, and then we're gonna make this just be localhost. I think probably http://localhost. Then we'll do the colon with the port, and that will be it. So no trailing slash. Now, in bin, let's go ahead and close you. We need, so const config equals require. Come on. Oh, you can't find it. Config. So here it's going to be port or config dot port. Okay, so that will set us up for the local port here. Now, if we come back to index.js, we need to grab our config. So const config equals require. This is going to be config. I wonder if I need to do the .json. Guess what's faster? Const a equals a:1 or const a equals json.parse string a equals 1. I mean, so knowing that this is JavaScript and so therefore it's totally messed up, like my guess is just knowing that the second one, but like it makes me like sad deep down that would be true. Yeah, I don't want it to be true. So, but I would never do that. I'll just take the slow option every time. How do you prove your API is secure to a customer? You know, that's really hard. It really like depends also if your customer is technical or non-technical. Because if they're non-technical, there is no way to prove to them without them not understanding. Okay, if they're technical, then you need to use a shared language. So that way you can say things like, okay, I'm using a middleware. Oh, they have their own red team. Okay. So find out what their shared language is and what their understanding is, and just basically talk to them in that same language. And you can even do like a code analysis tools like with them too, especially if they have those tools, which they probably do. But I think a lot of it is just going to be using the same language that they do. So, okay, I have middleware that's going to validate all of the custom income, the custom inputs from our forms. We have cores set up, but of course that's only going to stop browsers from hitting it. We store all of our keys in a database. Our database is encrypted at rest. Things like that. Also find out what their level of paranoia is. Probably before you write the server. They're old school Microsoft, so they want terms like WAF, but who uses WAF these days? Or do they? I don't know. WAF. You have to remind me now what WAF means because I've forgotten. I've heard of it a long time ago, but yeah, I don't even remember what WAF means. Web application firewall. Blocks injection attacks. Yeah, like so I'm using Mongo. There's really not much for injection attacks for Mongo, but for example, I would say I'm using the Monk library. The Monk library is a well-respected open source project, and they sanitize all the inputs to make sure that there is no injection attack on an insert or any other queries. Also, I go ahead and run another layer of validation before handing it to them to strip out anything bad as well. We also have automated tests that remove anything bad, that check for common injection attacks to make sure it doesn't work. So those are the types of things to do and to say. But that's off topic. We've gotten off topic. So okay, our server base URI. I actually now want this to be quotes like this. So that way I can now say localhost : and now we're going to say, first of all, this is going to be config dot, not base URI, it's server base URI. Is that what I put in here? No, just base URI. And then colon, this is going to be the port, config.port. So this is going to be our server base URI. We are now going to need to store this. So the Lambda URI is going to be our server base URI. That comes at the end, so we want a slash, and then we want to like, where do we want to hit? So I'm going to say run slash, and I probably want to have like the ID. That's going to be a problem. Because I need to store the ID on it. Well, of course, if the ID changes for any reason whatsoever, then this would no longer work. So maybe I don't need to store the Lambda URI and I can regenerate this live for each one. I don't know. Otherwise, I'm going to need to do an update, which I don't know if I want to do. So, but this is the idea. I want to store it something like this. I'm now going to create in here, we have our lambdas. Okay, so we have our lambdas here. We get all. Let's go ahead and first, so dot then, we'll bring in our lambdas. The first thing we want to do in here is inject these run URIs. So this is an array. We can now map through these. So we're going to return. In fact, I could probably do this in one line because why not? lambdas.map. We're going to get a single lambda. Yeah, this is looking questionable here. For this one lambda, all we want to change is we want to add in this sort of run URI. So we're going to call this, we're going to return. Oh, I do have to do this here because I have to say, so lambda dot run URI equals, so we're going to add this in here, and it's going to be the server base URI. That's going to be our like localhost :3000 / run / and then I want the ID. So lambda dot underscore ID, and I think that should be enough. Hit this, and we'll return lambda. That will then get us all of these that then show in. So now this is going to be run URI. So inside of our not layout, what's our other one? Index.hbs. So instead of this .uri, we're going to say run URI. And here it is. We have HTTP localhost 3000 run, and then the special ID, which the way we worked on it, this just works because we it works because we don't store it in a database. We just recreate this live. Okay. Now, I want to create a route where I can go hit this, and that's going to happen. But it has been an hour or so. I need to go refill my water really quickly, so I'm going to be right back. It's only going to be about a minute or so. So let me switch over to a super quick break, and I'll be right back.